Ah, now the mic wants to work. Okay. Now we're back in business. Oh my god, I swear, sometimes. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Hold on, let me fix this a little bit more. Noise gate. Alright, that should do it. Okay. Yay, now we have... Oh my gosh, always something with the stream. I don't even know anymore. Anyways, welcome to the stream. Congrats, Bill, on getting first. What is up to Bill, Amma, Melissa, and Cody? I hope you guys are having as great of a weekend as anyone can. Remind me at the end of this to go back and trim off the intro where there's no sound. This is, what the hell? This is week something or other of the quarantine from hell, so I hope you guys are hanging in there and keeping strong and safe. And I don't know about you guys, but I think we deserve a drink. So before we get into today's recipe, let's make ourselves a drink. But first, let's wash our hands. Scrub like you're about to do open heart surgery. And I kind of wonder, in the midst of all this COVID stuff, has anyone actually gotten the flu? Oh, what's breaking up this signal? There we go. Okay. Notifications actually worked? Wow. That almost never happens on YouTube. Well, nice to know they're finally doing something right. Although I can't crap on them too hard. I mean, the amount of people that are watching YouTube right now is probably more than they've ever had. Alright. Grab ourselves a nice big glass. And the lid. And we're gonna make my most favorite drink ever, which is of course the Cosmopolitan, but we're doing the blood orange this time. So bear with me a sec. Except this is going to be a very albino drink because I'm all out of blood orange and cranberry. Saving grace of YouTube in 2020, COVID-19. You know, you're not wrong. For as much business as COVID has impacted, there are a couple people who have definitely, they have profited, but not, not with bad intentions. So I'll give them that. Hey, Will. Just woke up, lucky. All right. Let me go ahead and pop open our ingredients here. There we go. So the stars of today are Smirnoff, Salerno Blood Orange Liqueur. I love this stuff. And just your basic lime juice. All right, so we're gonna grab some ice. There we go. And I'm just gonna free pour this. have our vodka. Let me know how the music is, if I need to turn it down or turn it up. We have our blood orange liqueur. Now this stuff is a little on the sweet side, so I'm not going to make it a 1-to-1 ratio. By the way, tune in this week. We have our Final Fantasy VII cocktail, where I'm going to be all Sephiroth out, and we are making the Golden Chocobo. I'm really excited about this one. We are basically reinventing the lemon drop, and this one's going to be really friggin' stylish, which I am so excited about. So if you're just joining us for the first time, welcome. My name is Melissa, aka Cocktails and Consoles. Where on Sundays, I like to be cooking in consoles. Because it's just so much fun to hang out in my kitchen and just cook with you guys on a Sunday. Today we are attempting to make fancy donut cheeseburgers. Can we pull it off? I don't even know. I haven't even tried this. This is all recipe in my head. All right, let me go put these back. There we go. All right, we're bottled up. Let's give it a shake. That looks really cool in the monitor. Shaking it over ice actually helps to not only mix everything, but it aerates the vodka, which gives it a nice light texture on the tongue, and makes the lime juice all nice and frothy. Good rule of thumb, anytime you're using something with vodka and some kind of citrus juice, always shake it. Oh, I made a big one. That's cool, we're just gonna roll with it. All right, let's stick you over here. And cheers to you guys. Woo! It's got some zip. All right. I know, it looks really milky, doesn't it? And there's no milk in there. Okay. So now let me bring up my recipe here and shrink it so I can see you guys and see the recipe. Whew, okay. I gotta admit, I'm a little nervous here because I've never made donuts from scratch. So this is going to be completely new for me. So bear with me and pray for me. All right, so the recipe that we're gonna be making, we're not gonna be making your standard cake donuts because those take yeast and I don't have any, and those take a long time and I don't wanna wait that long. Instead, we're going to be making French crullers because one, they have a nice eggy texture and don't use a lot of sugar, and two, you can make them super fast. I have not made these before, so we're about to learn together. All right. So to get us started, I think we have to start with the milk. The milk, water, butter, sugar, and salt to a rolling boil over medium heat. Got it. Hey Mark, what's up? The ball looks like it's browning. I love it. How you doing, Mark? Okay. So we need 1/4 of a cup of milk, 1/4 of a cup of water. Do we need the butter as well? I think we do. Butter, sugar, and salt. Yes, okay. So in here, I'm gonna put in the salt and I'll put in the sugar and then I'll introduce all the wet ingredients to there and then turn on the heat. All right, we need 1.5 teaspoons of salt. We're cutting that in half. We actually need 0.75 teaspoons. I'm actually going to use half because this recipe actually wants it to be a little on the salty side. I'm not a fan of that because we're already going to get a good amount of salt from the bacon, so we don't want to really overdo it. All right. So I'm only going to put in a half teaspoon. But I'll make it a hefty teaspoon. There's our salt. And sugar, we need 1 tablespoon, cut that in half. Half tablespoon granulated. Wow, this really does not call for a lot of sugar. Which is probably for the best because the glaze is gonna have a little bit of sugar to it. What Michiganders call hobo donuts is you take the canned biscuits, cut a hole. Oh, I've seen those! Shit, I should have done those. That would be a great idea. How much? Tablespoon? So we need a half of that. Yes. Alright. That does sound good. And add a little extra. There we go. Now, the trick to this donut and why it's one of my favorites is basically, and I'm gonna butcher my French here, it's what's called a pâte à choux, which is basically fried dough. So if you ever had a churro before, it's kind of the same recipe. You have churros, funnel cakes, all of it. All of those are, I always butcher this, pâte à choux or pâte à choux. So we're basically cooking the dough before we fry it. So you have to be a little bit careful because this will include eggs and you don't want the eggs to scramble. Alright, let me get the butter. But I think the whole recipe calls for a full stick. Yes, we need half a stick. I am good. I hope everyone is well in these times. All the best from Scotland. Oh, that's right. I forgot you're in Scotland. How are you guys holding down out there? Always wanted to go to Scotland. I've heard it's like friggin' beautiful out there. Plus, I want real Guinness. Wait, is Guinness Irish or Scottish? I can never remember. I think it's Scottish. Alright, so let's clog those arteries with some butter. You're making me think of the churros from Sam's Club. Oh, they are. I love churros. Oh, they're my favorite. Guinness is Irish. Okay. So which one is Scottish? Because I know you guys have, it's either a beer or it's a grain alcohol, and I can never remember what it is. Alright, so that's the butter, salt, and sugar. Now we need the milk and the water. We need 1/4 of a cup of water plus a tablespoon. Let's see. Wow, this is gonna be tiny. Is that 1/4 or 1/3? That's a little over. That's better. Okay. Oh, thank God Target had milk and eggs. Because everywhere else is fucking cleaned out. Alright. 1/4 of a tablespoon. There we go. Okay. Cool. You know, I might be thinking absinthe, but isn't absinthe French? Plenty of single malt whiskey. Oh, yes! You guys are where I go for my whiskey. Fuck yeah. Glenlivet, one of my favorites. I always pronounce that wrong. Not to mention Jameson. I love Jameson. Sure, we're gonna need this again. Nope. All right. Flatten this, get out of the way. That's fine. I'll drink beer, but I loves me some whiskey. Alright, so let's turn this on. We're gonna turn it up. We're gonna start halfway. Because I'm still trying to get a reading on how hot this thing gets. And I don't want the milk to basically scar on the bottom. Now, Mark, correct me if I'm wrong. Scotch is supposed to be a lot like, not Chardonnay, duh. Scotch is supposed to be a lot like, I haven't even started drinking yet. Scotch is supposed to be a lot like champagne, where it can only be called Scotch if it comes from a very specific region of Scotland, right? Woo! Alright, you know, I should probably get the flour ready to go, because this is going to come together super fast. Let me grab the egg, too. You know what? I may... I don't want to shorten the eggs, because it definitely needs the eggs. Alright, we're going to do 2. Because eggs is something you definitely don't want to skimp on this, because that's what's going to give it all the structure. There we go, and I'll put the egg whites away. To call it Scotch whiskey, it has to come from Scotland. Okay, so I was right on that. Yay! All right, flour. We need lemon zest too. Like bourbon whiskey has to come from Kentucky. That was the other one I was trying to think of, bourbon. I like bourbon, but I'm more a fan of Scotch. All right, we need... Where's the flour? 1 4 cups, so we need 75.75 of a cup. Which thankfully now I finally have flour again. That's about 75%. There we go. All right, we got the flour ready to go. I think we're actually done with flour. Let me give this a stir. You have to be careful whenever you're cooking with milk, because milk will burn on the bottom. By the way, guys, thank you so much for all the likes. You guys are so sweet. Oh my god, it does look like the pan is browning. I love it. All right, we gotta take this to a rolling boil, and then we gotta move quick. Let me make sure everything else is kind of cleared out of the way, because this will come together fast. Was Sis Cocktails gonna join you for the stream? I think she was, but she had some stuff she had to get done today. She might be over tomorrow. I'll have to check with her. Alright, that butter is melting, which is good. Bring up my recipe again. Stop it. Can you just... Thank you. Oh, you know, I should probably go ahead and grate the lemon zest while I'm here. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Not now. Well, okay, never mind. There won't be any lemon zest in here because when I went to the grocery store and spent $300, they decided to not pack the lemons or my chicken stock, which I didn't have yesterday. So this is gonna be a lemon zestless donut, and I apologize. $300, yeah, it was expensive as shit, and I was only really making like 3 things. Okay, so we're gonna have to, once this is at a boil, we're gonna take this off the heat, add in the flour, stirring vigorously, and then bring it back to the pan for 2 to 3 minutes. Then we gotta dump this into a bowl, and I think that's where we gotta let it cool before we enter in the... Oh my gosh, thank you so much for the donation. I am so sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but that's so sweet of you. Thank you. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, supply and demand definitely has made things very expensive. I needed groceries. Yeah, it's... God bless the people who are delivering groceries. I mean, you are doing the Lord's work. Okay, so once this gets to a boil, which is almost there, take this off, dump in the flour, stir it together, put it back on for 2 to 3 minutes, which is starting to come to a boil. Alright, you're coming off. Thank you so much. Hopefully this doesn't burn this pan. You know what? Hold on. I have something for this. Go on! I'm busy, you know it. She wanted nothing to do with me all day until I started this stream. She's such a little... Alright, so we're gonna take our flour, add it in, and give our arm a workout. And we're gonna have to move fast because we don't want this to clump. Felt awkward going to the grocery store Friday wearing my respirator. A lot of people now are wearing masks, and it's, I would be fine with that. I mean, they don't cover much, but they at least do something. But it's like the CDC. It feels like they're planning this thing via Magic 8-Ball. First it was, no one buy masks, you're shorting the medical community. All right, we stop buying masks, we're not gonna buy masks. And then freaking Friday, they're like, oh yeah, everyone should be wearing masks. Make up your damn mind. Now watch, once again, the medical community is gonna be like, hello, we can't get masks. And the CDC is gonna backtrack again and be like, maybe you shouldn't wear masks. Alright, that's fairly well incorporated. We're gonna put this back on the stove, crank the heat down. Wow, this sucker gets warm. Now we're basically cooking this kind of like a roux. So we're gonna cook out that flour, that cereal flavor is what we're doing. Wow, this may only make like 3. It's not gonna be many. Incidentally, Scotland spells it whiskey. Most everyone else, including... Oh, they don't have the E. I never knew that. I will have to look for that next time. All right. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Woo! Oh. There we go. This right here is what's known as a blonde roux, which if we were to add liquid to this, it would stand the best chance at making it as thick as possible. The more you cook this down, and y'all from Louisiana know what I'm talking about, we're gonna basically turn it into a red roux, which is not gonna thicken as much, but the flavor is gonna be out of this world. But that is a different live stream. All right, I can hear this cooking, so we're gonna give this 2 minutes. Then we gotta transfer this to a bowl. Antu, what's up? My aunt has a group making washable masks for the local hospital. That's so nice. I love that. I miss pasta. Me too. Luckily, the grocery store I was at just got in at least a little bit. So I managed to pick up like 2 boxes to last me for the month. All right, I'm gonna give this about 1 more minute, then we're gonna pull it. The masks they don't want us buying are the N95 masks, which prevent infection. They want us wearing the normal masks, which limit transmission. They do, but they only limit it like by 3% from what I've read. Which again, fine. You know, if the stock is there, I'll do it. I'll do my part. But, and this is why everyone panics during this time. Not that I ever condone panic buying, but everyone is sitting here like, okay, what do we do? What are they gonna change on us now? This is half their fault. Had they told us from the beginning, this is how we're gonna handle it? Okay, now I know. Now I know what to do. But now, myself, and I'm sure a lot of you included, are sitting there looking at Twitter going, okay, what's new today that we have to deal with? Fucking knock it off. Anyway, that's my rant. All right, that's pretty good. So we're gonna turn that off, not on max, thank you. Okay, I'm gonna sit you there. I need to get rid of you. Wait, am I taking this back to the heat? Hold on. We did that. It's thick. I don't think we have to return this to the heat. Yep, that's it for that, for now. Always be careful. I'm actually gonna move this over on the stove. There. That should keep that nice and safe. All right. Let me make sure I'm in frame. What, baby? Okay, I think I can take this down a step. Kind of, sort of. Hold on. Ah! There we go. Now we're in frame. All right. Let me move this on over. Grab our bowl, because I think we're gonna need this. Folks seem to be a bit sensible over here in terms of buying. How about you all? Oh, no sensibility at all. We had to have grocery stores basically start limitations because the second someone even mentioned quarantine, everyone went out en masse, cleaned out grocery stores in one day. There's no toilet paper to be found, because apparently that's the new gold standard. There's no pasta, there's no flour, there's no eggs. So I'm glad at least there they have common sense. Yep, I've made pata choux. That's it, pata choux. I always pronounce that wrong. All right, so we have that going. Now I think I introduced the eggs, but let me confirm. All right. Now normally this is done with a mixer. I don't have one or the time. All right. So we gotta let it cool down for about 15 minutes. So I'm actually gonna move it out of this into here. And we're just gonna work this till it's nice and thin. That'll help it cool down faster. Now I don't know if this is back in frame. Ha ha. That's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. Okay. So here is our dough. Now we're gonna work it into a nice thin layer. Wow, this is starting to look kind of dry. I don't think this should be dry. Basically, we need to cool it down to the point where once we introduce the eggs aren't gonna scramble. So I'm just gonna flatten this down so I can get as much air as possible. There we go. Oh, thank you so much. I wish I knew how to pronounce your name, but welcome to the stream. It's terrible, and most of the panic buys would probably go to waste. They will. We're hoping that people do the kind thing and donate what they're not going to use, because this is one thing I'm very proud of our grocery stores. They are not taking returns. I'm sure it's more for the reason of returns could be possibly contaminated and they don't want to reintroduce it to the store. The other side benefit is that all those selfish people who bought out everything, like we're about to go to nuclear war with Russia, now have to sit on that stock. And that makes me very happy. Hey, Desi, how you doing? I'm loving this vid, by the way. Thank you. We do this every Sunday. So if you guys happen to have any suggestions for next Sunday's cooking stream, let me know. I'm gonna give this a feel. Ooh, that's still pretty warm. So we're gonna let this cool down, and I'm gonna drink a little and chat with y'all. By the way, for those of you guys who are just joining us, check out this week. We have a Final Fantasy VII cocktail for you where I'm gonna get all Sephiroth out, and we are making the Golden Chocobo. Chocobo? I don't know. But it's gonna be lemony, it's gonna have a marshmallow foam, and it's gonna look like a chocobo. So I'm very excited about this. It's comfy viewing. Oh, wonderful. Doing okay, trying to put laundry away at the moment. I hear ya. I tell you what, the one side benefit to this quarantine, this house has never been cleaner. I am so bored. I cleaned my shower. I know, it sounds gross. I normally clean it like once a month or so. Now it's practically every single day, just because I'm so bored. And I don't want to watch that tiger show, because how is that shit popular? Have you heard about what goes on in that show? I gotta imagine the only reason why that's popular is because everyone's in lockdown. Oh, that's a good question. Do you guys think that show would be as popular as it is if we weren't in the middle of a COVID quarantine? Ah, good cocktail. I know, I need to get some new music. So yeah, so if you'd like to get that Final Fantasy VII cocktail vid in your playlist, if you want to hit the subscribe button down below, that'd be awesome. No clue what you're talking about. It's probably for the best. So it's the new show that's on Netflix that like everyone is going batshit crazy for. This guy apparently owns a whole bunch of tigers, practically abuses them. Like, I'd rather watch the Hilton sisters do anything rather than this show. I'm playing Animal Crossing and Metro 2033. Nice. I'm playing Resident Evil 3, but I have not gone past that marker, so I played it up to that again, to the same place that we were on Friday. I've not played past that. I don't know what's in store for us, but now we have more health, more ammo, and more gear packs. So we're better set now for next Friday's stream. I'm just gonna watch my Avatar: The Last Airbender. That's cool. Alright, that has cooled down. So now, I think we introduce the eggs. Add 2 of the eggs to the dough. Cool. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought we'd do. Coolio. Alright. So now, let's make sure the bowl itself isn't warm. Cool. So, with a pâte choux, you want to add it 1 egg at a time. Oh, hello, cup. Now, this first one, without an actual electric beater, is going to be a little difficult. But once we get that first egg nice and incorporated, it's going to make the rest of this a lot easier. There we go. So give it some time, it'll come together. So the more we kind of press it into the sides of the bowl, the more it's going to help us out. You could use a whisk. I don't want to because with so little dough, we're gonna get more dough stuck in the whisk than we are in the bowl. So I'm just gonna keep smashing this down until this egg is good and incorporated. Oh my god, my arm. This sucker really is a workout. Which is probably a good thing because Lord knows I haven't been. Isn't it funny? And I would love to hear from you guys too, because we always talk about all the things we do if we would have more time. And granted, like, our workloads have not diminished at all, but at least now we're not spending the hour to go to work and the hour coming home. So you would think like, oh yeah, I'm gonna, work out every day. I'm going to learn another language. And there are people who are doing that. Then there's other people like me where I have that time now to do that. Am I doing any of it? No. Not even a little bit. There we go. Now she's coming together. Honestly, the Tiger King, I will only watch the first 3 episodes because then it just gets annoyingly weird and crazy. Yeah, it's just fucking bizarre. Now she's combined. Alright. Oh man, now she's getting tough. Woo! I've been working from home, but the kids have been homesick. Aww, poor kiddos. Well, I'm glad they're letting you work from home. I've been sick too, cold, sinus infection, and pink eye. Oh my gosh! Was that from the kiddos? Alright, let me whip up this egg first. There we go. Now let's incorporate it. Well, the second one may even be more difficult than the first. Very little has been done. Ah, I hear ya. Come on, you. No, I think my sinus infection leaked into my... Oh, yeah, that would make sense. Come on. I'm gonna have one buff fucking right arm when I'm done here. I'm saying plenty of time at my disposal, now taking advantage. Yep, same. I could be doing so much. And I mean, I am cleaning at least, so that's a bonus, but have I done anything on my big to-do list? No. There we go. Now it's coming together. Holy Jesus. Ah! God, I wish I was ambidextrous. This stuff is hard, man. Whew. Oh, yeah. I was just thinking Quagmire. I am rewatching like all of Family Guy right now. I'm sure I'm gonna stop at like season 11 because there is a point you can tell that the creator just checked out completely. Alright, that is pretty good. Now we need to let this refrigerate. You could let it refrigerate in the bowl. I'm actually gonna go ahead and put it into our piping bag because might as well. So, thankfully, Michael's is still open. Because if it wasn't, I wouldn't know what to do, because I did not prepare for this at all. What's nice is they're actually, I'm not sponsored by the way. What's nice is that they're actually offering, like pick up at the curb service. So you can order stuff online, pull up, and they'll bring it to your car. Which I thought, oh my god, that's so cool. You know, so they can still be open, and people can still get what they need. The problem is, they're also still open, meaning a whole bunch of people are in Michael's right now, standing like this close to each other, buying craft stuff. That's a little tiny. We're gonna kick these to the curb. You really don't need piping bags. But you do want to make sure that your decorating tip fits nice and snug. So, let's see if we need to trim this some more. Yeah, wood in doubt Ziploc bag. I tried to be all fancy like those pastry chefs, and I should have known, don't bother. Alright, now the tricky thing is, I could probably go a little bit bigger on that. Let's try that. That's better. Because you don't want it to be able to get around too much, otherwise it's just going to get stuck there. Now, another trick. So we're gonna feed this down to the bottom of our glass. I know you guys can't see this right now, bear with me a sec. Ah, hand stuck, there we go. Justin, what's up, dude? How you been? There we go. So we got the tip down here, and this is gonna allow us just to pipe right into the middle. I'm gonna give this one more stir, make sure everything's nicely combined. This may make us like 2 or 3 donuts. There's not a lot. But it's a good eggy mix, and that's what we're gonna need. AOL customer, holy shit, how have you been? I've missed you. Oh my god. Like an interesting recipe. Thank you. So I was challenged to come up with to do the donut cheeseburgers. And as I'm trying to put it together in my head, going, how do I make it so this isn't like horribly disgusting? I started putting together a recipe in my head, and I'm thinking to myself, you know, this could actually be a little bit fancy if I can pull it off. The trick is, I've never made this before. I've never made donuts from scratch. I mean, I made cheeseburgers, but I've never paired it with the cheeseburger. So this is all theoretical. All right, that's looking pretty good. I'm just gonna leave it as is, and we're gonna pop this in the fridge. I'm doing okay. Yay! Good Eggy Mix was my nickname in high school. I love it. Wouldn't it be cool if Food Network did more things like this, where instead of making like a full production TV show, just have their chefs on cooking live and being able to interact with people. We'll put this in the fridge. I mean, they have, what was it, like Jimmy Kimmel's now filming from home and all that kind of stuff. Why not just, this should be the next wave of cooking. I mean, just imagine how more thrilled people would be to cook from home when they have cooking live streams. I'm not saying mine specifically, although I wouldn't turn it down. Cooking live streams available where they could talk to the people who are actually cooking. And then it doesn't look like on these videos like, oh, I just woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning and just whipped together this masterful little creme brulee for breakfast, and oh, there is my family out in the yard and they're milking cow. No one lives like that. This is, I just got home at 6 fucking o'clock. I gotta get something on the table by 6:30. Here we goddamn go. People would watch that. By the way, if you want that to be the next challenge, whip together a meal in 20 minutes, let me know. Hashtag Mel for Food Network. Oh, that would be awesome. But then again, I swear a lot, so they'd probably have to put me on like after hours, where all the ads are just Budweiser, vodka ads. Which, there's a lot of money to be made in that. I would watch that. Hell yes. Okay. You guys are down for it, I'll do it. 20 minutes to whip together a dinner. that's got meat, veggies, and some type of grain. Okay. I think we could do that. Vodka and swearing. Hell yeah! Flippin' Simple. I love your name, by the way. Welcome back, dude. 20-minute meal that is healthy and kid-friendly. Ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. Let's see. Let me think this one through a little bit. I'm thinking we do like some tater and broccoli tots. Because you put anything with potatoes and kids will eat it. Plus, it's a great way to kind of sneak greens in there. They like chicken, but chicken's so easy. And chicken, if you're doing fried chicken, you have to have that prepared in advance. I don't know. I'm about to think this one through. Let me do some digging. If you guys happen to have any recipes you'd like me to try for that, or like some ingredients, you're like, how do I get my kids to eat blank? Let me know. Meat, veggies, and some kind of grain. Me purchasing a veggie pizza, and we could make pizza. We haven't made pizza yet. They would pair you with Ramsay. Oh my god. Dude, if I ever got to cook with Gordon Ramsay, like, I'm just gonna stand there like a starstruck little girl. I love Gordon Ramsay. Like, my bucket list, at the top of it, is getting yelled at by Gordon Ramsay. Not because I like abuse, well, maybe a little bit, but just because it's Gordon Ramsay, man. He's my cooking icon, next to Alton Brown. Actually, that's two people I like to see cook together. Gordon Ramsay and Alton Brown. Homemade pizza. We could do that. If we make the dough, pan fry it, and then put it under the broiler, we could probably get that nice texture that you can only get from pizza ovens. Because I don't expect anyone to have a pizza stone. Those are annoying, by the way. I bought one once, never used it. The only thing I used it for, keeping it in my oven to keep the heat regulated. Making pizza second attempt at bread. Yeah, because my first one just turned out so spectacular. How do we sneak the veggies in? We might have to go with cauliflower. Because the flavor is so mild, and plus it's white and kids will trust it. And if you get it nice and like brown crisp, it's really good. And it's fast. If you use prepared dough. You guys thinking that? 20-minute meal, homemade pizza. Oh, you can slip something in the sauce. That's true. Oh, I would like to make sauce from scratch. I don't know if you can make it fast enough. Because dealing with whole tomatoes, unfortunately, is a pain in the... Why are we dealing with whole... Duh! We can get tomatoes in a jar. Plus, it'd have less sugar. We can control the flavor better. And I can show you a nice little trick if you have an immersion blender. Okay. We're gonna do this. 20-minute dinner for the family. We're gonna sneak some veggies in there. We're gonna make it as healthy as we possibly can. And we're gonna try our best to make that bottom of the pizza so nice and crisp. Oh, you guys have me so excited for this. All right. So next up, we're gonna need to fry these things. So let's clean a little bit. Get some room put together because we gotta prep some stuff. sucker out. This should be pretty good. So the tomatoes will give you some good lycopene and a bunch of other healthy vitamins. The bread, I mean, you really can't do much, but you gotta give kids something. You basically have to kind of bribe them to finish the meal. Kids would probably be more pepperoni fans than they would be sausage fans, right? Because if not, sausage may help me to be able to sneak some other healthy stuff in there. Or bacon would. Or we could make like a chicken Alfredo pizza. No, because we have to use a white sauce, and that's a lot of milky calories. Damn. Well, it does sound good, doesn't it? I'm gonna have to think about this one. But I'm really excited. All right. Do I want to get the glaze ready just yet? I suppose we could. Yeah, let's get the glaze together. All right. As requested, we are going to be making a bacon maple sage glaze, which sounds overly pretentious, I know, but it's going to be really, really good with the cheeseburgers. Okay, good. That's nice and cool. So let's bring out this sucker. By the way, if there's anyone else you know that likes cooking and stuff, if you want to hit the share button down below, it sends out the link. That'd be awesome. Yeah, there we go. Wait, I'm an idiot. Free and duh, I gotta cut up the bacon first. I'm a moron. Alright, let me make sure I'm in the right frame. There we go. Handy dandy little trick that I love to do is if you only have one cutting board like myself and it's a pain in the ass to clean, these little things you can get super cheap on Amazon. So that way your cutting board is really there just to help protect your knife, and once you're done cutting you can take these and just clean them off super fast. So I love them. It makes cleaning a lot easier. Yes, bacon first, absolutely. I don't think I'm gonna need this much bacon. So let's take you. Does that leave me enough for dinner tonight? Oh, we can do one more. That leaves enough for dinner tonight. Cool. Now that I finally have pasta back in the house, I am making carbonara. Because I friggin' love carbonara. Alright. Bust out. I know, this still hasn't been sharpened. I've been looking into those sharpeners that you've linked to me, Bill. I like them. I'm trying to find one at a decent price point. that gives me a couple of options. So I'm still hunting, but I like the idea of using those rather than, you know, a block, which I've tried before, and I just don't have the skill to be able to kind of keep that angle, and I don't want to be the one responsible for ruining my $100 knife. Doggo needs to run. Coolio! Anyone know the name of the plastic the white cutting board is made from? This is... Shit, I used to know, and I can't think of it right now. Alright, so we're going to cut these into very, very fine matchstick size, or what the French call lardons. Though they probably don't say it as horrible as I do. We're going to want to go super, super thin. Sorry, but there's no bacon. I'm not having it, right? Man, I'm real excited to make pizza tomorrow or next week. Now you're gonna have to let me know. Do you like your pizza sauce on the thinner side or on the thicker side? Or better yet, if you have kids, do your kids like the sauce on the thinner side or on the thicker side? Because there's two ways that we can do it. I'm excited. I have no one to cook for but me. Same. It's cooking for one person it's tough. It really is. Because a lot of the times you wind up getting way more ingredients than you need. So actually cooking for yourself can be pretty expensive versus like if you were to go to McDonald's or something like that. Eating out, if you use more drive-through, is actually cheaper if you're cooking for yourself, with one exception. The exception being is if you do a boxed meal service, like Blue Apron or HelloFresh or any of those, it gives you the opportunity to eat a little bit fancier at like $9 a plate. It's super good. I did a whole video where I priced it out to see how it would stand up, like if I were to go to, say, Safeway and buy all the ingredients myself. And it turned out to be at a slightly better price point. Plus, you don't have a whole bunch of extra ingredients just sitting around rotting in your house, and, you know, you get a chance to try something new. The downside is it's a lot of packaging. They do allow recycling, but that stuff will mount up in your house if you're not constantly getting rid of it. The other downside is once all this started, I figured, okay, you know, I'm just going to be a little bit ahead of the curve, and instead of trying to go out and shop, I'm just going to order like half of my meals through Blue Apron. Well, apparently, everyone else had that same thought because they have been sold out on everything for weeks. So I basically told them, you know, sorry, not sorry, gotta go. You told me weeks back this stuff was going to be available, and you can't manage your own inventory, so we're done here. For now. They do have good recipes. I'm not sponsored by them at all. But it's a decent service. Alright, I think the rest of this is mostly fat, except for this little guy. Well, let me know ahead of time so that I can try to get the ingredients so I can cook with you. Oh my gosh, that would be awesome. I will be sure to, and remind me, but I will be sure to post the ingredients the night before. So that way you guys can pull all the ingredients together and we can cook together. Yay! Oh, I'm so excited to do this. So excited! Polyurethane, thank you. I'm like, it begins with a P. It's a poly something. Thank you. Yes, it is polyurethane. I don't know how much you looked into Spyderco one I sent you, but you have two different angles on it, a side mount for the stone and scissors, and a spot on the bottom. I want to say I looked into that one. I don't think I had the money for it just yet, but it's on my list. Okay, so now that we have the bacon, I'm going to basically do the same thing with the sage. There we go. That's why I wear jeans during this stream. They make a nice way to kind of clean off your hands. Oh god, I love the smell of sage. Every time I smell sage, it's like in my brain, it instantly brings me back to Thanksgiving. Which is sad, because I think the only time we really use sage is during Thanksgiving. And we should use it more often, because sage actually goes really, really well with pork. Which is going to be what we're going to be making these hamburgers out of. There isn't much you can't sharpen with it. That's cool. Well, unfortunately, this was a mortgage check week for me, but when the next one comes around, hopefully then. Why does it always end on that song? That's so weird. Da-da-da. God, I love electro jazz. Welcome back, Cody. How's the puppers? Now, we're not going to use a ton of sage, because sage does not like sharing the stage, so we're going to use just a little bit as an accent. You can even sharpen serrated knives with it. Really? Interesting. Alright, so now we're going to take our sage and basically just stack them on top of each other. Probably going to do 2 rolls of this. There we go. We'll do the other ones in a second. So now you take your sage and basically roll it like the world's tiniest cigar. Take your knife. And we're just going to mow straight through this. We basically want very, very thin strips. Now you can absolutely fry sage whole and break it into pieces. The only reason why I don't do that is because this way I can control what size they are. When you're breaking them after you fry them whole, sometimes you may wind up with like big chunks of sage, and no one's gonna want that. There we go. And then there's the tail pieces. You can find it sometimes for 50. Yeah, if I can find it for 50, I'm down. I think when I went the last time, Amazon was quoting me like 75, and I really wanted it, but the dog is currently resting up against me. Hi, Cody's dog! You're a good boy. Okay, we're definitely gonna want more bacon than, excuse me, sage. So we move these on over. Roll up our cigarillo. I think that's what they call them. And just mow straight through. There we go. So now these are nice, fine little strips. Oh, it smells so good in here. Let me make sure I've caught up on chat. Yes, okay, good. All right, let me go ahead and clean off my blade. Thank you for playing. That's the good stuff. All right. So we have our bacon and our sage ready to go. We're gonna bring back our pan. See, nice clean board that I don't have to clean. Let me put the sage away though. Alrighty. We're gonna move you over to the side for right now. We're gonna bring this sucker back. There we are. All right, let me grab you. Oh, cool, we're in frame. I love when that happens. Turn you on. Turn you on low. Now, little trick that I've come to swear by, always start your bacon in a cold pan. That's gonna help it to render out the fat the best. And rendering fat really just means help to get all the liquid out of it. The more liquid we can get out of this fat, the more crispy our bacon is gonna be. Now there's a fair amount of fat on this bacon, so I'm not gonna add more fat to this. But I may add a little bit of salt. And what the salt is gonna do, it just help to break down those cell walls a little bit to pull more liquid out. Funny enough, what it's doing in there is the reason why you actually don't wanna put salt in eggs until they're fully cooked, because salt will do the same thing with eggs. If you add salt to eggs before they're cooked, actually even after they're cooked, but if you put it in before, one, it makes the eggs kind of gray. Two, it leaches the liquid out of the eggs, which just like ruins the texture. That's a pretty good ratio of sage to bacon. Do I have this turned on? I do. Okay, good. Yep. Not a lot, because we don't want to make this like super salty. I keep forgetting, I have to constantly check the white balance on this camera. This is a Logitech Brio, by the way. These things work in, not sponsored, these things work incredibly well in low light, but a big downside that these cameras have, it sucks at white balancing completely. Look at this, white, kind of white, but it doesn't want to register this as white, and it thinks that I've been baking like a lobster. I don't understand. Every time I have to use this camera, I always have to change the white balance, which sucks. So, and they're super expensive too. This one right here, this camera used to be the old streaming camera, like way back in the day. Now the new one I have is actually really nice. I think that's the, is it the C922? I think this is the C920. I think that one's the C922. That one does an amazing job. Like the mid-range camera, if you're gonna stream, cannot recommend it enough. I think it's about $90, whereas this one is like $45, $50, and this one is about $200. So this one is overkill, but it does have a nice like wide range, which is why I got it for this stream, because you kind of need some space when you're filming in a kitchen. But like, look how, this is not a bad job for a camera. You have the C920 currently? Yeah, I mean, look at it. It's like, I never have to white balance this. I added a little bit of contrast just to help kind of enrich the colors, but other than that, I'll leave it alone. It's fine. And this one, I am always fussing with the goddamn settings. Even midstream. Like, thankfully I started this stream late, so the sun is mostly gone. Because it needs to remind itself every 20 minutes what is white. Oh my god, can you guys hear that? Hold on. Let's get some ASMR in this bitch. God, there's nothing like the sound of frying bacon, is there? Oh. There we go. Guy, what's up, dude? I know. I want to do another ASMR cooking vid, because that was a lot of fun. By the way, all these old cooking vids are on my old channel, Cooking from Scratch. Which, yeah, good luck. I picked the name because I figured not only is it great, but like from an SEO perspective, it would be amazing. Yeah, still, good luck finding it. But, like, we have a ASMR cooking video, which I think came out really well. The box meal video that we did, one of the best I've ever done. That thing, oh god, that video took a lot of editing time. A Sizzle MR. Love it! But we will be doing a cocktail ASMR video. I just don't know which one to do just yet. A Sizzle MR. I love that name! That's such a great name. Oh my god. Hold on. I have to change the white balance again. Hold on. Properties. Like, I keep having to go into the blue tones because otherwise I look like a fucking lobster, man. Wow. Wow, this thing puts out some serious BTUs. Oh, so good. Oh, good. I'm loving this music, man. Epidemic Sound, by the way. Again, not sponsored, but I love to give shout outs to, like, good brands. Epidemic Sound works a lot like Monster Cat. So they got wise to the fact that a bunch of streamers want the ability to use music in their streams legally and not get content ID'd. So they decided to make their entire repository of music available. And if you pay, I think it's like $10 a month or something like that, it's like super cheap. Cheaper than Netflix, I think, at this point. You can use any song in their whole setup, and you don't get content ID. Which, by the way, if you're wondering, like, what the hell is content ID? On YouTube, they rolled out something because a lot of people were taking popular videos and just straight re-uploading it on their channel to try to rake in the views and, more importantly, the ad revenue money. So YouTube decided, okay, we got to stop this. How do we do this? Well, we got to give you the ability that if you see your video on someone else's site, you have the ability to what they call content ID it, which is you flag it and you say, okay, you can continue to use this video, I don't care, but I'm going to get all the ad revenue off of it. On paper, totally perfect. In practice, fucking nightmare. Because now, YouTube will just serve up videos that they think even look like yours. I've gotten a couple. They're like, hey, do you want to content ID this guy? Because we see that you have like 30 seconds of content that they also have because we played the same game. You can claim all their ad revenue that they'll ever make on that video. Now, I'm a decent person, so I said no. But this is what people use to basically weaponize YouTube. What they should do is, however much of the video you claim is yours, that is the percentage of the ad revenue that you get to make. Fucking simple, right? They won't do it, and I don't know why they won't do it. Have you ever done a vid on how you stream? I don't think that I have. I could totally do that if it's helpful. That'd be fun. Like, streaming for dummies from a dummy. Because I am so not technically minded. I know more about cooking than I know about anything tech related for streaming. So yeah, I could definitely put together, if it would be helpful for you guys, I can definitely put one together. Be like, hey, here's how like I do my graphics. Here's how, you know, like here's the vid cams that I use and kind of like why I use them. I'd be happy to. Has to be something with a lot of pouring sounds. Yeah, it's going to be harder for a cocktail video than it will be for a cooking video. We also are going to be making Golden Chocobo cupcakes for the Final Fantasy VII release, but I don't think there's enough sounds that would do well for an ASMR. But yeah, I love doing cooking ASMR. I think it's great. All right, so our sage is getting pretty crispy, which is good. I want to get just a little bit more crisp on the bacon itself. So we're gonna let this go for about another minute and a half, then we're gonna kill it. Now, I'm gonna take the bacon and the sage out of here, but I'm gonna leave the fat because that's what we're going to cook our hamburger in. Now we just have to find out what the other letters are. Ha ha! There's a system that I've suggested to solve the music problem. Many labels disallow the usage of their music on YouTube because of how the profit sharing isn't intuitive. Same goes for Content ID. What's the system that you recommended? Oh my god, I love that! Streaming for dummies from your friendly streaming dummy. Oh my god, that is such a... I'm gonna write that down. By the way, I am such a sucker for colorful pens. Oh my god, I go nuts. That is such a great idea. Streaming for dummies from your... Hold on, I want to get that. I'm totally giving you credit for this. Da -da 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 -da. From your friendly streaming dummy. That is such a great name. You should be in marketing, sir. Oh my god, I'm like so excited to make this video now. Love it! Okay, that is looking pretty crisp. Cookie Crisp! Do they still make Cookie Crisp? I don't even know. I loved that cereal as a kid. Turn you off. Turn you on. God, this thing puts out... I think this thing puts out more BTUs than my fucking gas stove. It's incredible. This is almost like you said, divvy up the ad revenue on the video based on the percentage of content your staff was present in. I mean, honestly, wouldn't that solve for so much? Because now you have to tell YouTube how much of that video is actually yours. Can people still abuse it? Yes, but it's better than what we have now. I think YouTube is just trying to avoid being sued, and they're making a lot of decisions that look great on paper that are horrible in execution. Much like the CDC. Okay, so here's the tricky part. We need this bacon and the sage to be nice and crisp, meaning we need to drain away the fat. But as we drain away the fat, we need it to not sit right next to the food, otherwise it's gonna make it kind of gummy. So here's how we do that. Little trick I learned from Mr. Alton Brown. Take a cookie rack, but use the bottom part of this because you actually don't want space between the cookie rack and your paper towels. You want the cookie rack to basically be sitting right on top of the paper towel, so flip it upside down. This is gonna wick away the oil and the fat a lot more efficiently than if we tried it from the other side, because this way we're waiting for gravity to basically pull the fat away from it. Here, because it's so close to the paper towel without touching it, it's gonna leach that fat away. So we're gonna take our plate and a slotted spoon, because we want to keep this fat, because this is good fat. And just flatten it out on our paper towel. Ah, son of a bitch. I mean, the CDC doesn't actually get to make decisions these days. It's true. Like, this is... I mean, this sounds hurtful, and I don't mean it that way. This is, like, one of the few times people have actually recognized their need for the CDC. And I get it. They're trying to make the best decisions that they can. But again, they're decisions that look good on paper. They're not decisions that look good in execution, especially if you thought about all the other decisions that you made. And what am I talking about specifically? Their whole thing on masks. Because they don't look at it from the, I'm just a, stupid American, and the second I hear I should be wearing a mask, I'm just gonna go out and go buy every mask that I can find and screw everybody else, because this planet's just gonna be left with just me and old Roscoe, my dog. That's what's gonna happen. Looking good. Now the tricky part's gonna get to the last bit of this. Take the droppings, make some sawmill gravy. Dude, okay. One of these streams, I'm gonna show you guys my recipe for chicken fried steak, which I make sawmill gravy for. So good. Sawmill gravy is the best gravy. Alright, we're gonna let that compose itself. I'm gonna take this pan of lovely fat and move it on over here. Okay. Now this is gonna be a little bit tricky because I want to keep this here because we're gonna need to heat up our oil, but I also need to pipe out our donuts. So, hold on a sec. We're gonna need cookie sheet. I'm actually making chicken fried steak this week. Nice! I got chuck roast I'm gonna cut into steaks. So, Amma, what do you use to tenderize your steaks? Thankfully, my local butcher will, in most times, run it through their little needler machine, but not always. When they do, it's amazing. Like, it's the most tender piece of meat ever. When they don't, it's pretty tough. So I want to know if there's a tool out there that'll do it even better. God damn it. I hate these things. Stay. Stay. You have a handheld needle tenderizer. Nice. I need to find one of those. All right, go ahead and fold this on down. Now, because of the egg content in here, this is going to be pretty sticky. So we're going to use parchment paper and we're going to spray this with some oil. That's pretty good. Let me get this actually flat. Mostly. By the way, I don't know if you guys can see, but in all this time working from home, I actually had someone out and professionally fix my horrible painting job. So my kitchen no longer looks like a spastic 6-year-old painted it. Lime juice also works good as a good tenderizer. That's true. I've heard that, was it papayan? Basically the chemical that's in pineapples and papaya works as a chemical tenderizer because it's basically an enzyme that breaks down meat. I've never used it in powdered form, although pineapple beef sounds really good, doesn't it? All right, now for this, sorry for the ass shot, we're going to use a small pan because I don't want to waste a whole lot of oil that's not going to be used. Whoops, hold on. It's a little hard to see, but I don't want to move it any closer. I don't know why it's ridiculously long link. Can you send it to me on Discord? Just put it in the community tab. Wouldn't need Amazon. I know, right? Except for books, they screw authors over most of the time. Real? Oh my god, I didn't know that. Buttermilk works good too. I do like soaking it in buttermilk before I put it through a flour dredge. Sent you a tenderizer we have in Discord. Nice, thank you. I do need a good tenderizer. Okay. So I apologize, you guys aren't going to be able to see me and my horrible piping job. Here's hoping. Let me pull that tip through. There we go. Oh god, I've never done this. Let me get a quick prayer in chat. Okay. Nice and smooth. And I want to try to twist this because I want to make this look as pretty as I possibly can. Okay, I need you to be like, this isn't coming out any other way but the tip. Giggity. I'm going to have to be a little bit careful with this. Same link I put. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Nice and gentle. Oh god, please. Please. Okay, I'm gonna try to help the tip out a little bit. Come on. You know you wanna just work. Wait, I think it's coming out. Yes, okay. Yay! Oh man, it's tough though. I don't know if you can see this, but it's having some issues. No! Oh god, it's spitting the tip out. God damn it. shit. Alright, we may need to fix this. Hold on. Maybe we actually do use this. Possibly? Hold on. Amazon's book publishing service for printed ones and even many ebooks are very high price upfront for authors. I did not know that. They consider it risk money? Oh, that's bullshit. We got like half of a donut. Nope. Hold on. We gotta move this up. Okay. Dear piping tip, there is only one thing I need you to do today, so please fucking do it. Sincerely yours, Melissa. One thing I needed to do. One thing. Could it do it? No. But that's okay. This is unscripted, and we're just gonna fix it. Just thank God we only need like 2 donuts. There we go. Alright. That's half fixed. So eggy. Whew. Down. Down. Shit, I need this to not spring up over the top. So professional, no? Piping bags suck, man. This is why I'm not a baker. I cannot pull this crap off to save my life. One thing I needed you to do. You know what? Hold on. I'm gonna double down. We're not losing this battle. It's not nearly what is likely to explode in your hands. I know, this is challenging, but we're gonna make it work. This is just gonna give us a little bit of added insurance, because I piped this pretty tall to the top. Come on. There we go. Good boy. Such a good boy. Let's tighten the shit out of this. There we go. Come on. They're not gonna have the nice, pretty little twists, but that's fine, because they will at least be fucking donuts! Actually, weirdly, these are twisting. Who knew? Oh my god, this is fucking hard. Alright, now... Oh, knife! You're my last hope. There we go. Okay, we have won! The donut gods may smile down on us for once. I hope. I pray. But it's not like most other serves require you to put as much down for the printing. Amazon has such mass marketing that they could also cut down on prices when they can really make it competitive. Exactly. And for a lot of people who honestly, like, as much fun as it is to read a book when it's sitting in your hands, the ease of reading one electronically, I mean, no one can argue with. It's super helpful. Okay, I need you to start turning. There we go. Now, pipe! These are looking more like churros than donuts, but you know what, we're gonna go with it. God damn. Okay. Where's my knife? I promise I will show you guys what this is in a moment. And you're gonna say, yeah, those are fucking churros. Okay, so the trick that I'm finding with this is get a lot of dough to get started. It's gonna naturally twist on its own. Which is nice, because then I don't have to worry about getting all fancy with it. There we go. Touch you down to the side. I think we have enough for one more. Yeah, being able to access your books from everywhere is perfect. It might be a little too cold. I think you're right. Come on. Find your friend. There you go. The cool thing is, without me even trying, it's getting that nice little twist rotation. Yeah, these may be sliders, but that's fine. Holy God, my hand hurts. Let me just touch these off to the side so they don't unwind in the oil. There we go. Woo! That was not me bowing, like my arms are tired. Here are our donuts. Look at that, they don't look like a complete imbecile made them. Except they don't have a hole. Shut up. Okay, I need a drink for that. God damn. Mel is getting a workout. Yeah, he ain't whistling Dixie. That's why Amazon ebooks are so weirdly good. The ebooks aren't nearly as bad with the cost. I gotta imagine, like, yeah, it's nice to have like a whole bookshelf filled with books, and it looks great, and there's something satisfying about having a book in your hand. What are you more likely to read? Something you can get on the go. Okay, let me fill this up with oil. We're almost there! Where's my oil? There you are. Once we get done frying this, this is about to become a shit ton easier. Alright, so for frying donuts, you basically just want any kind of oil that has a good high smoke point, which vegetable oil is probably one of the easier ones you can get. You can also fry these in coconut oil, probably one of the best things to fry in, next to lard, but the problem is coconut oil is pretty expensive. And depending on which kind you use, the smoke point actually isn't that great. Like, you would want solid coconut oil, not that, like, pressed is always liquid at room temperature, because then you're basically frying with olive oil, and that's not good. Alright, so we're gonna fill this up, so that way our donuts don't touch the bottom. And we're only gonna fry one at a time. Now, I don't have a frying thermometer. I'm breaking the rules like you don't believe, because I didn't think to pick one up. So that is my bad. So we're just gonna have to eyeball this. Okay. Whew. Now my arms get to rest. And you know what? My drink needs some ice. Shit. I'm out of room. Probably could have gotten one more donut out of that.
What happened to us? What happened to all the love we always took for granted? Are we stranded? Is it too late? Is it too late to color feelings that have faded? Complicated. I'm waiting for an answer, waiting for a sparkle to come to ignite love. I need no.
Thank God I'm taking the trash out after this. This stuff is messy. God damn it. I just want to get the tip out. Pun not intended. There it is. Peanut oil is pretty good. I'm trying to put as little of this down my sink as possible because the stuff is sticky and you don't want this backing up your pipes. Bear with me a sec. Okay. All right. Ready for a new week to begin? I think so. Honestly, the reason why is because, and I don't know why this isn't getting more press, there are some huge advancements being made in the medical field, like pretty rapidly too. It's still going to take them time to come up with a vaccine. But the good news is that they're coming up with antiviral medication that once it's going to the FDA, I think it's Monday. Once they can get it through the FDA, so the company I've been following, weirdly on Instagram, it's, how do I put this? So when you get the flu sits in your body for a while, it does some damage, it starts replicating, and then your white blood cells finally fucking wake up, you're like, oh, we've got to attack this! And then they go out to attack it. They basically create antibodies. Now, what we're dealing with is a coronavirus, meaning the corona is the type of the cell, for lack of a better term, the structure of the virus. The other ones that are also coronaviruses are SARS, Ebola, like all these have similar cell structures. So this company went back and said, hey, if this is a coronavirus, let's go find other coronaviruses that we actually have antibodies for. And they took the antibodies from that, did some genetic manipulation, and coded it to where if this works, not sponsored, if this works, people with COVID-19 at any point of infection can take this and it starts to kill the virus, or at least stop it from replicating in your body within like 15 minutes. That is what they are saying. Now, I hope this works, because this is the news we've been needing for a long time. So it buys us time to come up with a vaccine, and is also a treatment for people who have it right now. Can it undo the damage that COVID does to your organs? Not from what I've seen. That part sucks. But it can, the second someone is identified as being sick, it can go in there and stop it in its tracks. So it's what gives me hope, and I follow them on Instagram every time they make updates. Like, I'm glued to my phone. Thinking and noticing when places use peanut oil for frying donuts by the weird savory taste left behind. Oh, that's interesting. I never thought about that. Okay. I think this is feeling pretty warm, and it's shimmering. Let's see if I can move this closer just a smidge. Here we go. We're gonna get our cookie rack ready, because we're gonna need that next. Hold on. I'm gonna pop these in the freezer for a second. We gotta give it the best chance to kind of hold together, and I think the freezer is gonna help. So I'm gonna turn this down. Yeah, it's shivering, it's ready to go. But yeah, it's every day there is a little bit of good news, and honestly, for where we are, I don't think we could ask for more than that. I mean, we should ask for more than that, but I don't know if we can get it. I know this is going to water it down, but my drink needs to cool down. The good thing is, out of all of this, is that the second that this vaccine becomes available, I think this whole argument against, I think the whole anti-vax movement is going to have some serious opposition. Because now we've seen what happens when a virus runs through unchecked through an entire population. Anyone who is still anti-vax after this is gonna face some serious hate. Not that I would wish it upon them, but honestly, we need to just stop anti-vaxxing movements for a while. Like, replace the name COVID with polio. What, that? So, that's one good thing to come out of this. Hey, Tal, what's up? Ty, sorry. Yeah, that is pretty warm. I'm gonna crank this down a little bit. This sucker puts out a lot of heat. Let me make sure it's not cooking my camera. It is a little bit. I'm gonna back this up. Yeah, I mean, there's still going to be anti-vaxxers, but the pushback that they're gonna get will never be stronger. Now let's see if I can get these suckers off. No, don't sit on the bottom. Oh, this may be our tester. Maybe it's not as hot as I thought it was. Come on, boy. Gourmet donut cheeseburger sounds delightful. Thank you. They're evolving. We're trying. Cooking is so satisfying. I know, right? It's so fun. And fun to watch. I mean, that should have happened when there were more polio outbreaks a few years ago, but no, antiviral. They will, but here's what I envision. I don't know if it's gonna happen. Half of the anti-vaxxers, now that they see that the risk is real, are going to become the self-serving people that we've seen people to be. And the second it becomes available, they will claw over each other to get it. That's a portion. The other portion, who are gonna stand strong and, oh, anti-vax, da, 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 da. I don't want my kid to have, what is it that they claimed? I can't believe this is still around, because they've proven this isn't the case. I don't want my kid to have autism. Is gonna be met with a swarm of people who have had to be locked in their house, watching relatives die, yelling at them with such vitriol that they're gonna have to be on board or risk being burned at the stake. The other, and again, I don't wish that on anyone, but sometimes you kind of need some backlash to happen. The other thing I foresee happening is that politicians are gonna see, we can't risk the economy due to this happening again. We have to make vaccinations mandatory. And I think they've got enough leverage with the people that they could possibly make that a statute. I don't have a thermometer for the oil. You know what? I can get 2 in here. Let's get 2 in here. Let me crank up the heat a little bit, because this has to be at 375. I did find that KFC was still accepting walk-in takeout. I finally tried one of their chicken donuts. How is it? I wanted to try their chicken waffles, because I've always loved the idea of chicken waffles, but like cornmeal waffles. And sweet and spicy syrup. Okay, it's actually frying. It looks more like a churro than a donut, but it's frying. We kind of did a thing, guys. Oh my god. That there's people who refuse to get vaccinated for HPV. It's true, and I'm one of them. Like, if I get something, I don't care. Not that I have a death wish. Don't think that. It's just, I don't know. I'm one of those, if it happens, it happens. Now, I will absolutely get vaccines to prevent other people getting sick. Like polio, measles, bump, the MMR, all those things I will do. Once this vaccine becomes available, I will get it. Because, again, don't care about myself, want to make sure other people don't get sick. I have never been more aware. I'm not an anti-vaxxer at all. I fully believe in vaccines. I have never been more aware of the need of a vaccine until now. So, it's done its job for more than just the anti-vaxxers. Alright, this needs to be a little warmer. Chicken donut sandwich was good. Nice! And honestly, people should get the HPV vaccine, and I probably need to go schedule it, because I think they said, what was it? Herpes is going to become so common that it's gonna be like chicken pox, that everyone's gonna have it. But can we prevent that from happening? Because it's not exactly a nice disease to have, from what I hear. They're frying! I'm so happy! I made a thing! I don't think they're ready to flip yet. But this is good. That way the egg is kind of cooking all the way through, which makes me feel a lot better. Ah! Pants! Stop falling down. Thank you. Smells good. Turn this up a smidge more. Because I do need to eventually flip these. My god, cook! Basically, everyone has some form of benign or asymptomatic herpes. Yeah, that's what I've heard. It's a strain that mutates certain genes that can become cancerous. Oh. HPV does lead to cancer, and males are the carriers. That sucks. Well, when I go to get the COVID vaccine, I will definitely get the HPV one as well. That's not, I'm not trying to make that sound like, yeah, well, whenever they make a COVID vaccine, like, I think it's not going to happen. I know it's going to happen. And when it happens, I want to get that and the HPV one, because I don't want to, my doctor right now has a lot better things to worry about than me. You ever had a cold sore? You've technically had a form of the herpes. That's true. That's very true. So can we even get the, ooh. It's cooking. It's cooking. I can flip them now. Oh! They're starting to brown. I made donuts. I'm so happy. By the way, you should not be bouncing up and down next to a hot pot of oil. But I'm just so amazed that this is actually somewhat looking like what I meant to make. You want to have too many dead cell vaccines all at once. You know, that's a good point, Tal. I should probably space them out. Milk and fried donuts. Yes! Oh, I'm so happy. Now I just need these to get some color on them, and then we can them out and get the next ones in. Oh my god. I don't know why, but that hurt. Okay, it's starting to brown. That's good. Cooking donut achievement unlocked! Yes! Shut up, fridge. I'm so glad I went with this idea, because I think these are gonna be like perfect for what we need them to do. Whew. Atta girl Mel, you made donuts. I made donuts! Hey, when you don't have a romantic life, there's very little things for you to get excited about. Although, I had the weirdest dream last night. I don't know what spawned this dream, but the dream was, I don't even remember who I was with. It's a person I've never met before, but our goal was to have sex in a church. It was very bizarre. What's the next skill tree? Croissants from scratch? I wish I had the setup to make croissants from scratch. I have no way to be able to laminate dough, and I really wish I did. Yes, they're turning brown! Puff pastry, oh. If I could make puff pastry from scratch, fuck it, life will never get better than that. They're brownie! I get the Pillsbury dough. That's what I would get. They only take like 16 hours to make. Yeah. Because I do have that time. I don't want to have that time available. Hey look, I love making stuff from scratch. Like, beef Wellington, I will absolutely make from scratch, except for the puff pastry. I leave that to the experts. By experts, I mean my mom. That's true. Actual frozen puff pastry can be really good. These actually look pretty. I'm gobsmacked that I haven't ruined these yet. They look pretty. Don't they look pretty? All right, a little more brown, then I'm gonna pull these guys. And then we'll try to send Mel to England for the Great British Bake Off. I can't bake, you guys. I can't. I wish I could. I don't know how to temper chocolate. I can't make anything out of sponge sugar. I don't even know how to spin sugar. Trust me, I've tried. I wanted to make like the Sephiroth wing out of sugar and put it in the cocktail glass for the Final Fantasy VII cocktail. Could not make that happen. Can't bake, then nailed it. I feel so bad because poor Andrew has been telling me about that show like every time he's in the stream, and I still have not seen it. Is that more cooking than baking? Because if so, I'm down for that. All right. So these are about ready to go in. Let me go get some paper towels. Oh, they smell good. Double these up. Put those there. Put on our tray. And I think these are ready to come out. Look at it! Look at it! Oh, they smell so good. All right, next up. I don't think I've been this happy in like all of 2020. How sad is that? All right, let me go grab some more paper towels. These actually smell really, really good. But yeah, we essentially made churros. To be fair, churros and French crawlers, basically the same thing. It's the shape. That's the only difference. There we go. Okay, so you're gonna want to get your donuts, hopefully this shows up, as close to the paper towels as possible, but you still want a little bit of barrier. That's gonna leach that oil out and get it away from the crispiness. Nailed it is baking fails. Oh, thank you. Wow, okay, so Andrew has, well, I mean, he's not wrong, but he has that much faith in me. There's a gif of a scene from Nailed It where the baker forgot either sugar or salt, whatever it was clearly important to the recipe, and they won. Okay, I've done that before. I tried doubling a recipe of making lemon bars, and I forgot to double the amount of sugar in the crust. It was not good. It's kind of like pasta shapes. If you've made the same base linguine, you've made spaghetti and many, many more. That's true. By the way, we will be making pasta on this channel. I'm very excited for that. I just need a really, really good pasta roller, and I have not found one. Like, every pasta roller, even the friggin' KitchenAid stand mixers, have fucking disappointed me. They're the worst. They're so hard to clean, and they just have to be simple. They just have to be simple. I cannot find a simple pasta roller. I think I may just have to make one. Yeah, now this is about $3.75. I'm so happy I made donuts. Woo! The good news is we're close to being done. So we went from donut burgers to churro burgers. Yep. But again, French crullers and churros, same thing, different shapes. Oh, I'm happy and the vodka kicked in. Finally on my laptop, no longer stuck loading. Oh, good. Sorry, I am wirelessly streaming, so sometimes you guys may get some interruptions. Although I haven't gotten any notifications of any drop frames yet. Ice, what's up? I was just heading over here to watch your Resident Evil, but then you were live, so I guess that works. You guess that works. By the way, Sister Cocktail says hi. White girl dancing outside of Jackbox streams. I like it. Thank you. I swear to God, I really don't dance this poorly. Oh, these look so pretty. I'm gonna make these like all the time. Just all the time. Are you just saying that? No, she actually said hi. Actually, these may be our tops and our bottoms because they came out the best. I'll say hello back. Awesome, I'll let her know. She may be over tomorrow. No, that needs a little bit more. Oh, they're nice and crunchy. Oh, this is gonna be good. I'm eating salmon and potatoes with some semi-sweet red wine. Ooh, that sounds good. How'd you make your salmon? Actually came out really good, guys. Like, this may actually be a really pretty thumbnail. Who knew? Give that one more minute. The tops are beautifully golden brown and delicious. The bottom side just needs a little bit longer. I just put in a skillet until I think, yeah, I could eat that. That's my cooking method for everything. Okay. Yeah, I could eat that is probably the best name for a cooking show I've ever heard of. I'm kind of jealous. That's a genius name. Why do donuts look so much darker on the big cam versus the little cam? There is some lighting differences, depending on how much lighting is kind of getting at it. Like here, my lighting sources are way far away, but on the smaller cam, the light source is a lot closer. That's why they look different. Oh, that's beautiful. Actually, I want the top just a little bit darker. And then we're good to go. Just get complete amateurs to make food with the pro chef giving them tips on how to not burn it. That would be cool. Like, all they can hear are the steps, they can't see it, and they have to recreate it. That'd be awesome. Worst Cooks in America. I loved that show for like the first 3 seasons. After that, it kind of got repetitive, but at the beginning, I thought it was really good. Okay. These suckers are good to go. I'm gonna flip them one last time, so that way when we... Oh, those are beautiful. They're so pretty, you guys! I can't believe I didn't fuck this up. That would be another good name for a TV show. Or F's in chat. But again, it'd have to be a live stream show, which fucking Food Network, get on it, man. All right, that is good to go. We're gonna put you over here so you stay nice and safe and cool down. Now, I'm gonna leave this where it is. So unfortunately, you guys aren't gonna see the next part. Hold on. Music just stopped. There we go. 2 steps left before we fry up our burgers. The first one being, we need to grate our cheese. Okay, I apologize, you're not going to be able to see this. This is Gruyere cheese. Ooh, that's actually not going to stabilize. Yeah, well, okay, we're fine. So, Gruyere cheese, I highly recommend. If you can't get your hands on Gruyere cheese, you're going to want a really good melting cheese that's kind of nutty neutral on flavor. So Fontina will work. You could even use a slice of brie if you wanted. Before I do this, let me clear off some space. Wait, I need the sugar. I might need the sugar. Let's stick it here. There we go. I had to clear off some space. The God smiled upon us today. I agree. Let me move the camera back a little bit. I don't want that sucker getting warm. It's a little warm. Yes, real cheeses. None of that American cheese bullshit. Now, handy tip when it comes to grating cheese, you're gonna want your cheese as cold as possible. Normally, you would never stick your cheese into a freezer because there's still enzymes at work in here, and you want that to happen. However, 2 hours before you grate it, you're gonna wanna pop this sucker into the freezer, which I did not do, to make it as cold as possible. That is gonna help you to be able to grate the cheese as best as possible. Also works with bacon. Stick it in the freezer for about 30 minutes or so before you cut it. Make it the easiest you've ever cut bacon. There we go. All right. Now, we need to get rid of this rind because we can't grate the rind. Now, Gruyere is an amazing melting cheese. It is one of the primary cheeses that I use when I make macaroni and cheese. So we're just gonna take this and grate it. We don't need a lot. Just enough to make 2 sliders. And then the rest, I'm gonna make me some mac and cheese. Ugh, 'cause homemade is best. A little bit more. That's pretty good. I'm gonna wrap you back up. Stick you over here for now. All right, we've got our cheese ready to go. The last thing we need to do is basically just get our meat sorted. So for this, we are not actually going to use pork. We are going to use pork. We're not going to use beef because pork is going to play better with all the other ingredients that we have. Now, you know, I should make the glaze for the donuts. Yeah, let's get that going first. The cheese. I know, right? Weirdly, the star of this show. Okay, I apologize, you're not going to be able to see this. But we are going to take our bacon and sage, and attempt, at least, to put this in a bowl. Good. It's nice and crispy. It's not gummy or chewy, and that's exactly as we want it. So we got the sage, we got the bacon. Now we just need to introduce the maple. So now you can see why we're kind of going with the flavors that we picked. So if you've ever had like a baked ham during Christmas, a lot of these flavors are going to be familiar. So we have the sage, we have the maple, and we're actually using bourbon maple, so even better. Donut success is close second, but the cheese will always be the star. I know, it's so disappointing. I was just searching for gifts from Nailed It to share with you, and damned if I'm having a tough time. Aha! I'm surprised there aren't more gifts of that. I would figure that's like really gift worthy. And Trosty, my sister in Wisconsin dislikes a lot of cheese. To be fair, I'm an Italian and I don't like a lot of cheeses too. I love fresh cheeses like ricotta, mascarpone, anything you would put in a cannoli, love it. I like Parmesan, I like Gruyere, I like Fontina, but like the really funky cheeses, I can't. I wish I could, but I can't. Alright. Hold on, I need to get the recipe for the glaze. That wasn't the glaze. That's not the glaze either. God damn it. Where did I put the glaze? Maybe it's on here. Nope. Maybe it's on here. There we go. Give me the glaze. 1/4 cup unsalted butter. 1/2 cup pure maple syrup. 1 cup confectioner's sugar. Okay, so I'm guessing we have to melt the butter. Well, this should be pretty easy. Alright, this should be real easy. So we have the rest of our 1/2 cup of butter, or 1/4 cup, I should say, because a whole stick is a 1/2 cup. I'm gonna pop this in the microwave on 30-second burst just until it's melted. Apologies, the audio may cut out while the microwave is going. A Canadian dish. Haha. Wow. Yeah, I can't run the microwave. Perfect. Trying to get out of the way of like the electromagnetic waves that are happening because it will screw this up completely. Half cup maple syrup. All right, get that. Then 1 cup. I'm gonna need the half cup because I already used 1 cup. Thirds. Should be 1/2. 1/2. Perfect. All right. Can I move this? I can kind of move this. Carefully, I can move this. All right, it's time for me to go. My game stream endeavors. See you around. Thank you, guy. All right. Let's see if I can move this over here, and I'm going to show you this beauty coming together. Make sure this is still nice and clean. There we go. All right. How much did we say? 1/2 cup maple syrup. 1 cup confectioner's sugar. Got it. All right, so we're gonna get the confectioner's sugar first, and then we're gonna get the maple syrup. And I'll show you a trick for that. Now, normally anything liquid or liquid-based, you're gonna wanna use an actual liquid measuring cup. I hate going through those steps because it's a real pain in the ass. So I just use these, which is good because I don't want so much maple that maple overtakes everything. Oh, I know, melted cheese is the shit. Okay, so we're gonna need 1/2 cup of powdered sugar. Actually, do we need 1/2 cup? I think we need a full cup, is what it said. One. Two. And it was 1/2 cup of maple. Alright, let me close this up and I'll show you the trick. Okay. So once we've knocked about all of the powdered sugar we can out of this, here's a trick. Now, if you ever try to measure out anything like honey or anything that's super sticky, you're gonna know that you may pour 1/2 cup in here. You are not getting 1/2 cup out of it unless you do this. Take any kind of cooking spray over a sink, please. Spray it. Now pour in your maple syrup, because that's going to keep it from sticking to the side, so you get more of an actual 1/2 cup. A bourbon barrel-aged maple syrup. Oh, this is going to be good. But again, I don't want total maple, so we're still going to pour a little short. I can't wait to see the end product. Thank you! I'm so excited. The spraying of the oil is going to help that maple from sticking to the sides. Then we can take our water moistened spatula and get the rest out. There we go. Now let's start to pull this together. But one thing that this is missing that I'm gonna add is just a pinch of salt. Because wherever you're adding sugar, you should always add at least a little pinch of salt. Because that's gonna help the sugar to basically be more sugary. Reason for that is that salt kind of opens up your taste buds. It makes it easier for you to pick up the flavors of sugar and, well, pretty much everything. So then you really don't need as much sugar. There we go. That is a beautiful glaze. All right. It's nice and clean. Let's get our donuts. They look so pretty. Just gonna dig them on in here. Oh, that looks pretty. Now, it doesn't have a whole lot of bacon and maple, but I'm gonna fix that in a moment once this stops dripping. Now I'm only gonna dip 2 of these because 2 of these donuts are actually gonna be our base and we don't want those coated. Yeah, that definitely needs some kind of added on top. So to do that, we're gonna take our fork, give this a good stir, and by using the fork, we should get more of just the bacon and the sage that we can pile on top. Now, yes, we could have saved this and kind of crumbled it on top, but I want it to hold together, so that's why I introduced it into the glaze. My aunt makes maple syrup every year. Nice! Does she sell it, like on Etsy and stuff? Because I will totally buy it. Plus, as this glaze cools, it's going to become a little bit more translucent. Not a lot, but a little. There we go. Oh, these already look beautiful. Alright, thank you for playing glaze. Now we are down to the final steps. It's nice to know that's crazy easy to make. And I forgot to add the salt. Ah, I'm an idiot. All right. Finally, we just have to get our meat together. Cody's so excited. Okay, so for this, any kind of ground pork will work. You can use this with beef if you want to. I don't know how that's going to turn out. The flavors that I picked kind of already work naturally with each other, but feel free to make any twists you like on this. But make sure whatever kind of ground meat you use, you got to have a little bit of fat in there. Somewhere between like 10 and 20% fat is going to help this to be nice and juicy. And so will this trick that I show you in a moment. Once I wash my hands. Pure maple syrup is good but pricey. It's true, but nothing tastes like pure maple syrup. Well, we are close to the end product, so if there's anyone you would like to see how this turns out, if you want to hit the share button and send them the link on Twitter, that would be awesome. Alright. Now, I'm a little bit of a purist when it comes to hamburgers, so I'm going to keep the seasoning pretty basic. So we're just going to use salt and pepper. So we're going to put in a generous grind of pepper because we're going to need something to cut through the sweetness. Next to that, we need a good helping of salt. Oh, a fried egg. I love a fried egg on a sandwich. Go. Speaking of fried egg, so here is my secret to the juiciest burger you've ever had. Once you have your ground meat with your salt and pepper and any other kind of seasonings that you want, the secret ingredient is 1 egg yolk. Go ahead and separate this out. Let's go ahead and give that a mix. So what the egg yolk is going to do is going to add a little bit of juiciness and umami, which is that nice savory sensation that you get from things like mushrooms and other sources that have naturally occurring MSG. I don't think that eggs do, but again, it's still going to give us that nice savoriness. So we're gonna mix in that egg yolk. Plus there's a lot of really good healthy fats that's in egg yolks. I normally like to add in at least 1 egg yolk per person. There we go. This, by the way, if you love turkey burgers, you have to add egg yolks to it. It will transform what you originally thought of as turkey burgers. They're juicy, they're savory. It's the best trick I've ever come up with. Not so secret anymore. Fry that egg! I would if we weren't doing this with donuts. I considered it, trust me, I considered it. There we go. All right. So now we're gonna move this back on over. Pull this down. Make sure I'm in frame again. Pretty much in frame. Although I'm looking pasty. Hold on. Every time I have to fix this. There we go. Now I don't look so pasty. Alright, so we're gonna take our bacon grease. Oops, I forgot to hit done. There we go. Alright, let's turn this on. Turn it up about halfway. Make sure you have clean hands for this. Yeah, and this is the point that my nose starts to itch. Funny. Yeah, baby. I'm so jealous that your aunt makes maple syrup. That is so cool. I would love to make my own artisanal maple syrups. That would be so fun. Like mix some with bourbon, mix some with rum. Make a pina colada style maple syrup. Oh. Warm up! God damn it. You were so good about putting out the BTUs before. Oh, that's weird. When I roll my shoulder over, it makes my arm look friggin' huge. Let's put that back to normal. Thank you. As long as you have maple trees, it's not hard to make maple syrup. I don't have maple trees. Is there any way that you could make, like, dwarf maple trees? Because I would totally do that. Alright, that's starting to warm up. We're close to this being done! I'm so excited! That's what I've heard. I've heard it takes a lot of sap to be able to make maple syrup. Oh, wow. Those look good. Okay, so maybe next time I'll do the glaze separate of the bacon and the sage. Just so that way they show up a little better. There we go. Alright. So, with clean hands, we're gonna shape our little patties. About that size, maybe a little more. There we go. That's good. Being very careful. There we go. A touch more. By the way, if you don't want the meat to stick to your hands, actually run your hands under the faucet so they're wet. and that way the meat doesn't stick to them as much. I can't believe this is actually coming together. I had hoped this would work, but I knew there was so much potential for failure. And by the way, guys, thank you so much for all the likes. I really appreciate that. There are too many trolls that love to just hate bomb creators, so we really appreciate it. There we go. These should be good size patties for our sliders. This has been a successful stream so far. There's a chance it could still fall apart. We don't know. But the donuts turned out. The patties are coming together. Oh, I'm gonna add a little bit more salt though. Now, I don't want this super high because these are pretty thick patties, and especially with pork, any kind of ground meat, you want to make sure it cooks all the way through. Because unless the meat is ground like right before your face, you can't take chances with ground meat. And this is why every place you go to that serves any kind of ground meat, they have to cook it to well done, or medium well. I think, and they have to cook it to medium well. Most cook it to well done just to be on the safe side. Because it's all a matter of surface area, unless they ground their own meat. If they ground their own meat, then they can ask you, would you like that done, like, most places won't do rare. Mid-rare, medium, mid-well, or well. But if they're asking you that, always ask them, confirm, do you ground the meat on site? Because if they don't eat there. If they get the meat already ground, you have to cook it to at least mid-well or well done. Because it's surface area. There's a lot of pathogens that can get in there. You have to take care of yourself. Hey, Emmy, what's up? People who regularly eat raw ground beef. You can... Asterisk. You can... Asterisk. That asterisk is if it's properly sourced and ground on site. Like steak tartare. My sister loves steak tartare, like crazy amounts. It's one of her most favorite dishes. But again, I don't think she asks this. Wherever we go to get steak tartare, I don't think she asked, is this ground on site? Generally, the places we go to are, when we get steak tartare, are pretty upscale. So if they're not grounding it on, fresh on site, they're horrible. Now, I don't know if she gets it with, like, the egg yolk that's sitting in the middle that a lot of places like to serve steak tartare with. Oh, that smells good. Now, with this, you're going to want some kind of sour cherry spread. So I got this next to the cheeses at Safeway, of all places, when I went to go get groceries. What this is going to do for this dish is basically going to counteract the sweetness and the saltiness with a little bit of sour. I thought about using pickles, but I didn't know exactly how that would turn out. So I decided to go with this instead, because cherries work well with bacon, cherries work well with pork, cherries work really well with sage. So it kind of keeps it all in the family from a flavor perspective. I occasionally hear people doing that. I mean, you guys will just grab a pound of ground beef from the grocery store and just eat in front of the TV? We're not cannibals. everyone to smell the food. The smell's what gets me going. I know, I wish we could make this like smell-o-vision, because that would be so cool. Oh, that's good. So there's a little bit of sweetness in here, but it's more sour fruit flavor, and that's what we're gonna want because we gotta counteract. There's a lot of sweetness in this. All right, this is looking pretty good. Let me go ahead and wash my spatula. Oh my God, Emmy, thank you so much. Hold on, let me finish cleaning this so I can throw you a heart hand. There we go. That's so nice of you. Thank you. There we go. Thank you so much, Emmy. That's so sweet of you. I paid my cell phone bill and I have money left over. Aw, thank you. Oh, this is looking good and smelling good. Let's give this a flip. Where's my spatula, Ma? There it is. Hi, baby. I'm not done yet. Shush. I said shush. She's such a brat. Alright, I'm gonna give this a little bit of a smush. Not much, because we don't want to push the juice out of there. But we do want this to lay kind of flat, because we want that crispiness. That crispy. Yes, you can't have any of this. By the way, don't step on George. Yes, Man on the Floor shall be played by George today. There we go. We are so close to being done! Yeah, that's Kitty. Do you still have the fanfic reading night planned? I have it. It's in the books. I just haven't set the date for that yet. But anyone who is any level of supporter will have access to that. They are coming soon. Mmm. Smelling great. They are like really smelling good. All right. So at this point, these have about 20% more to go till they're cooked. I'm gonna start putting on the cheese. So we're gonna put it right on top. Oh, this should come together very nicely. Alright, now anytime you're frying burgers with cheese, you gotta cover that. Oh shit. Hold on. This isn't the exact lid for this, unfortunately. So I'm gonna have to push all these to the center. Crap! Hold on. We'll solve for this. No, he can't sit on those. Just on, please. God damn it! Okay, I may have to hold this. Shit. That's fine. Okay, I'm gonna crank up the heat a little bit. There we go. Working on writing a Stony one-shot that I might include. So let me be clear, I'm not going to be reading viewers' fanfics. These are going to be ones that I'll be creating. Yeah, the flipper spatula is back, indeed. Cheese is starting to melt. That's a good sign. Actually, let me go ahead and smush this down a little bit. I don't know what we have planned for the reading night yet. Date has yet to be determined. It will be coming shortly. I just have to figure out how to basically get suggestions from people on characters, actions, or plots. Because they will be fanfics that I will create. Comfy viewing, loving this. Thank you, Mark. These are almost done. That cheese is looking good. That sounds good, Will. Alright, let me see if I can flatten this cheese down a little bit. There we go. That needs one more minute, and then I think that is done. So putting a lid over this helps to keep the heat in and circle it back on top of the cheese. So that's essentially what we're trying to do here, is melt the cheese on top. That's good. All right, let's turn you off. We're gonna move you over here. Nice and out of the way. And you're off. Let me move you. Okay, I think you can actually move in here and free up some space, because I'm running out of it. My God, the amount of work and the amount of dishes for the tiniest food possible, it's so hilarious. Come here. Oh boy. Okay. That will keep that nice and safe. All right, now let's move you down for the big reveal. Whoa, camera, chill, 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 chill. We can probably even go lower on this. Yeah, let's put you here. You're so excited. Thank you. Me too. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, let's get a plate out. All right. Let me open this up a bit more. That's pretty good. Weekly dick tea, some delicious food. Alright, we're gonna start off with 2 of our donuts. Put nicely right there. Now let's get our patties. Up on top. There's one. Here's 2. Looking good so far. Now, before we do the other ones, we need to add in our... come on, knife. We need to add in our cherry chutney. Just a little bit. Just to add a little bit of tang. Because they're burgers on donuts. That's exactly it. So we're going to take one of our sexy little donuts. Add a little bit of our cherry chutney at the base. I cannot believe it's come together. Storm, what's up? You are right in time for the plating, my friend. These are bacon sage maple donuts with pork sliders on gruyere cheese. It's a good chutney. And there you have it. Wow, those actually don't look half bad. Hold on, I gotta take a picture of this. Once I move all this other stuff out of the way. Took 3 hours to make this, but you know what? It looks damn good. I gotta move this out of the way. Sorry guys, I'll move that back. Perfect. Okay. Thank you, Desi! I can't believe this came out. Alright, hold on, let me get the hair out of the way. We gotta test this sucker. Now, the trick is getting through all these layers, and there's a lot, so I'm gonna eat this over the sink. Hope you don't mind. Oh my god. That's actually really good. So I gotta tell you what's going on in my mouth right now. So the first flavor you get instantly is the pork, and that's good because that's what I wanted. And then you get the savoriness of the cheese. Then you get hit with a little bit of the sweetness from the donuts. You actually taste more egg in the donut than you do the sugar, but the sugar comes in just like as a surprise guest. And then what helps to keep the sugar at bay is the tartness coming from the sour cherry chutney. And the bread honestly holds together really well. Oh my god. This is crazy good. Thank you guys so much for recommending this. Dwarf says we'll be there in a bit for dinner. Hi Dwarf! Hi kiddos! I miss you guys and the kiddos so much. Oh my god, I don't want to stop eating. Sorry. That's so good. Oh my god, that's so good. Like, I'm trying to not overhype this, but wow. If you guys get a chance, please make this. And if you do, please take a picture and put it in Discord because I want to see it. The link to Discord is down below. Bug, get out. I'm gonna Mr. Miyagi you. Alright, so I'm gonna turn off this camera and go stuff my face with the rest of this. Thank you guys so much for hanging out tonight. I had so much fun making this with you. Next Sunday, we are doing 20 minutes or less frantic meals on the go. We are gonna be making pizza from mostly scratch. A great way for you guys to be able to get some more veggies into your kids in a way that they may be okay with. Our goal is to make the crispiest bottom and the most delicious topping while putting as many veggies as we possibly can into that pizza. Thank you guys again so much for hanging out. Thank you for all the subs, all the likes. Special thanks to all the sponsors. You guys are wonderful, and I will see you, awesome people, in Monday's live stream. Bye, guys.